Hello besties, welcome to Mama Stories. Please subscribe and leave a like for us, it means the world to us. Also, share this video with your loved ones and turn on post notifications, so you don't miss future videos from us. Thank you. As you do so, sit back and relax as we dive into this story. The Uber's taillights smear red across the wet street and disappear around the corner, leaving the hush that follows a long night. I stand on the curb and it takes my brain a beat to understand what my eyes are already shouting. My suitcases are on the sidewalk. 2 boxes, taped and scuffed, sit beside them like they were dropped from a moving truck. A sheet of paper trembles on my doorframe, pinned under a strip of blue painter's tape. The breeze catches it, flips it up, lets it slap back flat. 4 words in thick black marker, do not come inside. Under it, smaller, this is for your safety. No signature. No explanation. The plastic wheels on my biggest suitcase scrape against the concrete when I pull it closer, a gritty little scream that makes me flinch. Somewhere above me, a blind shifts, a narrow glossy tongue of light opening and closing. The doorbell camera's tiny red LED blinks, steady as a heartbeat. I swallow and try my key. It goes in halfway, hits an edge, and refuses. I jiggle it, angle it, press harder. Nothing. The lock has been changed. There's a peculiar humiliation to having your own door deny you. I look down the block like maybe I've got the wrong house, the wrong life. The same crooked sycamore, the same hairline crack in the front step, the same wind chime on Mrs. Klein's porch across the way. I press my palm against the door, it's cool, unmoving, indifferent. I can smell the damp of early morning and stale travel on my clothes. I can feel the grit from the suitcase wheels on my fingertips. My name is written on one of the boxes in quick, impatient letters, please take. I kneel and peel the tape back. It gives with a long gummy sigh. Inside, a neatly folded sweater, my sweater, the one with a snagged cuff from dragging against the gate latch last winter. The scent of my detergent floats up, soft and stubborn. Beneath it, a framed photo wrapped in a t-shirt. I know the weight of that frame before I see it. When I unwrap it, the glass catches the morning light and sparks. The picture is face down, brown cardboard backing out, as if someone had deliberately refused to let the face look out. I turn it over. It's me and Maya at the beach last summer, squinting, hair everywhere, the ocean making its own blue opinion behind us. I put the frame back in the box, face down again without meaning to. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. The other box holds a shoebox with my passport photocopy tucked on top, a mason jar with a roll of quarters, 2 mugs I thought I'd lost, a tangle of charging cables. Not trash. Not random. A curation. Someone put their hands on these things and decided what I would be allowed to have outside. I straighten and read the note on the door again. Do not come inside. This is for your safety. My hand moves toward the doorknob like it's magnetic and I yank it back. It's ridiculous, but the words have a physical weight. I look up at the doorbell camera, the little red dot watching me, recording me. I wave at it, then feel stupid and let my hand fall. Who would do this? The landlord? I'm not late on rent. Automatic debit hit 2 days ago while I was crammed into a middle seat halfway over the Atlantic. My ex? We've said ugly things to each other, but she doesn't have a key. The homeowner association? They hate the potted cactus I keep near the railing, but this is not a passive-aggressive flyer about planters. A prank? No one hauls boxes and changes locks for a joke. Something colder moves through the possibilities and I name it to make it small. This is some kind of mistake. A car door thunks somewhere behind me and I flinch, even though it's just a delivery van making its early rounds. I glance up the street again. Another blind adjusts, the tiniest flick of a wrist behind plastic slats. I try the key again like the metal has changed in the last minute. It hasn't. I crouch and unzip the front pocket of my suitcase to dig for my phone charger and feel something that shouldn't be there. Paper, small, sticky. I fish it out. A post-it the color of lemons, folded once, pressed into the lining like someone knew I'd go looking. 3 words in neat, careful letters, check the ring. For a second I imagined jewelry, some kind of proposal prank, some bizarre attempt at romance. Then the obvious clicks into place, sharp and loud in my head. The doorbell. The Ring camera. My thumb goes to the app before I've even fully formed the thought. The little spinning circle chases itself while I stand in the hallway with my luggage like an evacuee. The camera opens to a still frame of my own face, distorted slightly by the fisheye lens. I look tired and puffy and confused. I tap the history bar and scrub backward. A time-stamped timeline unfurls, 2:17 a.m., motion detected. 2:18, 2:36. I press the one labeled 11:54 p.m. The image shifts to night vision grain. A figure in a hoodie steps into the frame, moving with a slow, methodical care. Not the creepy, hunched skitter of someone doing a quick wrong. This person lifts a box from just inside the door, sets it down on the mat, goes back for a suitcase. The hoodie tilts toward the camera, and even though the face is shadowed, it's obvious the figure is looking directly into the lens. They hold there for a second, as if adjusting a thought, and then their lips shape words. The live view doesn't play audio. I keep watching anyway, trying to lip read nothing. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. The figure places the paper note on the doorframe, runs a strip of tape across the top, smooths it with a palm. The hand is gloved. The movements are clean. Twice the person turns their head toward the street like they're listening. Then, as careful as they came, they step out of frame. I back up through the clips. At 12:03 a.m., the camera catches the edge of a sleeve, a shoulder, someone taller blocking the lens with a gloved hand. The picture jumps and then everything is the gray wash of a palm. The clip ends abruptly. I feel the heavy travel fatigue settle on my shoulders for a moment, the kind that makes your legs threaten mutiny. I breathe through it. The paper on the door crackles when another breeze comes. Check the ring. The yellow note sits in my palm like a little sun. The ink doesn't look like a stranger's. It looks like someone who presses hard when they write, who lifts the pen sharply at the end of each word. I look back into the first box and there's a sweater with a sleeve turned inside out. I push my hand into the lining because I can't stop myself anymore, and feel the ridge of another folded paper, no, just the seam. My fingers brush something else buried near the bottom. I pull out my spare tablet. It's fully charged, which is either a miracle or a plan. I don't remember charging it before I left. My own handwriting on a masking tape label on the case reads travel, docs. I didn't write that. I know how my letters lean when I'm rushing, and these stand straight and disciplined. A door opens across the street and Mrs. Klein appears in her bathrobe, the one with faded roses. Her hair is in curlers, each one a little plastic lighthouse. "Everything all right?" she calls, voice thin with the morning chill. I imagine how this looks, me hunched on the step, my life in boxes at my feet, the note on my door telling me to stay away from my own home. "I'm figuring it out," I say. The words taste like cardboard. "You need coffee?" She doesn't step off her porch. She's kind and cautious. She's the type to bring you soup and also write down your license plate when you park on street cleaning day. The red light on my camera blinks again, patient. "I'm okay." "Thank you," I say. I'm not. But now the world knows something is wrong. The humiliation tilts, shifts into something with edges I can hold. I balance the tablet on my knee and open the Ring app there instead. The interface is slightly different, and the history has more options. There's a download button for audio. I don't have Wi-Fi, it lags, stutters, fails. "Can I start, and hate the way my voice trembles. Can I bother you for your Wi-Fi for a second?" I call to Mrs. Klein. She hesitates, then nods. "Passwords on the fridge," she says, and then laughs at herself. "Which doesn't help you, does it?" "Hold on." She disappears and returns with a notepad, tears off the top sheet, and holds it up from her porch. I picture the camera capturing this whole exchange, how ridiculous and ordinary it is. I type the long string of characters on my tablet, my thumbs clumsy. Connected. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. I hit download on the clip at 11:54. The progress bar crawls, my heart does not. A plane tracks a thin scar across the pale morning sky. A bus sighs at the corner, kneeling to let passengers off. Somewhere in the building, a pipe knocks. The audio finishes. I press play. The figure's voice, grainy but unmistakable, fills the tiny speakers. Familiar, but I can't grab it by name in the first second. If you're seeing this, the voice says, careful and low, don't open that door until you talk to me. The note explains why. I look at the paper on the frame like it might flip over and reveal paragraphs I somehow missed. It just keeps breathing with the breeze. The camera speaker wraps the words around me again, don't open that door. The voice is not the landlord. Not my ex. It's someone closer. The shape of it hits me a half second before the name. Maya. I look straight into the camera lens, and the awareness pours through me. Whoever did the careful arranging wanted me to watch, wanted me to be right here, held just outside. A prickle runs along my scalp, down my arms. The ring light blinks on and off, like it's answering. Maya's name lands in my chest and sits there, heavy and wrong. For a second I decide it isn't her, that the grain of the audio bent a stranger into a friend, but the cadence is unmistakable, the way she leans on the second word in a sentence, the careful calm she uses when she knows I'm close to panic. Don't open that door until you talk to me. The note explains why. I look at the note again, as if new words might bloom on it. Same block letters, same chill the breeze keeps pushing against my face. If the explanation exists, it isn't on the front. I peel the tape with my thumbnail and ease the paper free. Blue adhesive pulls a curl of paint from the frame. On the back, in the bottom corner, there's a quick square of ink that didn't register earlier, a QR, sharp and tidy, like a secret you don't see until you tilt your head the right way. Excuse me, I call across the street, holding the note by its edges. Mrs. Klein? Do you have an outlet outside? My tablet will die. She squints at me over her glasses and points to an extension cord coiled near a potted geranium. You can use that. Don't do anything flammable, she adds, with a faltering smile that says she wants to help but not be part of whatever this is. I drag my suitcase over and set the tablet to charge, the cable warming under my palm like a small animal. The tablet camera opens with that exaggerated shutter sound. I hover, as if the QR might bite, then let the lens settle over the code. A link pops. Unlisted cloud folder. My stomach drops with a kind of thin, fast dread. I tap. It asks for a passcode and then, to my surprise, fills it automatically from a saved list. I don't remember saving a passcode like that. The folder opens. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Inside is a grid of thumbnails, photos, a PDF, 2 short videos. The first picture is my door, close enough to show the grain of the wood. The second is a close-up of the deadbolt plate, where the paint meets the metal. I pinch to zoom. A hairline crack runs like a delicate vein from the plate toward the knob. The next image is closer still, a grayish smear near the edge of the latch, metallic, as if a tool kissed it and left a whisper of itself behind. I swallow and click the PDF, gas valve. It's a manufacturer's diagram, all arrows and warnings, the kind you ignore until something smells wrong. A note in the margin, typed, not handwritten, a quarter turn is enough to confuse a detector. I don't know who typed that, but the meaning is simple even to me. You wouldn't need to flood a place with gas, you'd only need to nudge something so the alarm stutters, so someone with a badge and a reason can say emergency and bypass a lock. My throat tightens. I select the first video. The camera faces down at a set of silver tools on a towel. A finger enters the frame and points at a thin strip of metal, speaks in a whisper I'd know in any storm. There was scoring on your latch, Maya says. I'm going to show you where. The picture tilts, and the phone's light finds the tiny scratch again. I know you'll want to come inside, she says, voice almost too soft. Do not. Not alone. Anger surprises me with its heat, anger at her, because she moved my life into the open and didn't pick up the phone, because she is here in pixels and nowhere else, because she knows me well enough to speak to the part of me that would shove the door, consequences be damned. The anger feels safer than the other thing coming up behind it, the one with cold hands. I scrub to the end of the clip and it cuts abruptly. No sign off. No call me. I open the second video. It's darker, indoors. I can hear Maya breathing through the mic, the small shift of her clothes against her skin. He was inside while you were gone, she whispers, and the words are so simple, so cleanly placed in the air, that I can't process them. My brain edges up to them and skitters away. She goes on. I think he used the service door. I think he has a key. He took things he wanted you to find and left things he didn't want you to see. She doesn't say who he is. She doesn't say how she knows. The clip ends with a small scrape, like the phone slid over wood. I grip the tablet hard enough to make the case creak. What are you doing to me? I say out loud, not sure whether I mean Maya or the person she is talking about. Across the street, Mrs. Klein pretends to fuss with her mail. From behind her curtains, a shape passes and pauses. I'm on a stage I didn't choose, under lights I can't switch off, acting in a play where someone else wrote my lines. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. I go back to the doorbell app. The timeline is a row of pale rectangles with little orange flags where the motion spiked. I scroll to the clip I watched and then past it. After Maya finished hauling and whispering to the camera, there's a gap. At 2:36 a.m., a moth flutters near the lens, its wings a soft, frantic flicker. At 2:58, a cat arcs through the frame, tail high, indifferent to human drama. Then, at 3:12, another orange flag, thicker. I tap. The hall is a greenish tunnel in night vision. A figure approaches from the far end, taller than Maya, weight carried differently, shoulders back, steps heavy enough to bend the floorboards into sound. The hoodie isn't a hoodie this time but a jacket with a logo stitched above the breast, the letters too blurred to read in the low light. The person doesn't look at the camera. They don't need to. They move like they've done this before. When they reach my door, they lift a hand gloved in black nitrile and place it directly over the lens. The world goes instantly to a damp gray, and the clip dies like a candle snuffed between fingers. The sudden absence is worse than the image. I stare at the little blank thumbnail with its timestamp and feel my pulse knocking under my jaw. The timeline has no more flags after that. The last thing the camera saw was that hand. I pull the note closer and stare at the sharp black lines again. This is for your safety. Who wrote that? On the front, the letters are thick and anonymous. On the back, the tiny QR is drawn with almost delicate care. Two different hands? Or the same person wearing two different faces? My phone buzzes with a text, unknown number, no contact name. For a moment I can't make my thumb move. When I do, an image opens, my mailbox, angle low, as if taken from someone crouched at the baseboard. Under the lip is a neatly folded sheet of paper held by a strip of tape, the edge barely visible. The message attached is two words, you missed. Air leaves my lungs in a hard, shallow laugh that isn't a laugh. I walk to the mailbox and run a fingertip along the metal lip. There's residue, tacky and faint, and the darker ghost of adhesive where something sat until very recently. The someone who sent the image is telling me they saw the note there, that it existed. The tone is, not mocking, exactly. Impatient. Like a teacher sliding your test back with the wrong answer circled. I type back, who is this? 3 pulsing dots appear, then disappear. Appear. Disappear. When the response arrives, it's just a location pin dropped half a block away, near the service entrance that faces the alley. Fear moves through me properly now, not the cinematic kind but the kind that makes your skin remember you're an animal. I look up and down the street. Morning has shifted from pale to bright. People start to peel themselves from sleep. A jogger passes with earbuds blocking the world. The bus at the corner releases another sigh. My door stares at me with the implacable calm of a locked eye. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Do you need me to call someone? Mrs. Klein asks, voice softer. She has moved 2 steps toward her gate. I think of telling her yes. I think of lying and saying no. Instead I ask, can you watch my bags for 2 minutes? She nods and folds her arms, bracing herself like a sentinel in robe and slippers. At the service entrance, the metal door is closed, the keypad slick with 100 fingerprints. The alley smells like damp cardboard and old fruit. A dragonfly skates in the air, reckless and ancient. I don't touch the door. I don't want to put myself in the story that way. I walk back, more aware than before of my heels on the concrete, of how sound carries when you're being listened to. Anger flares again, bright enough to light my next step. Maya knows. She moved my things. She filmed evidence. And she left me with a warning and a puzzle instead of a plan. I want to hear her voice without the crush of static. I want to demand why she didn't call the police, why she didn't call me, why she thinks I am made of this brittle pause. I open our message thread. The last text from her is a photo of a dog in a raincoat from 3 weeks ago. I type, I'm at my door. I saw the videos. Call me. 3 dots, nowhere. I call. It rings once, twice, and drops to voicemail. Her recorded cheerfulness is obscene in this moment. I end the call before the beep. I go back to the cloud folder and look for something I missed. Between the photos of the latch and the valve diagram, there's a file I skipped, just a number string. I open it. It's a screenshot of a work order, my address at the top, a line that says emergency access authorized with a signature that looks like a drawing of a wave. No company name, just a first initial and a last name I can't place. Someone put that in here for me to find. Someone expects me to connect a dot my brain refuses to hold. The tablet buzzes again with a polite notification from the doorbell app, motion detected. I click live view and stare at my own front step, the boxes hunched like animals. No one is there. The app lags, catches up. The red light pulses. For a moment I see the reflection of my face in the dark glass, eyes too bright, hair stuck in airplane angles, mouth a thin line, and I feel the detailed, ordinary ache of wanting to go home. Put the suitcase in the corner. Run the shower. Set a mug on the counter. Instead, my life is on a public slab of concrete, and my friend's voice is a ghost saying don't. I close my eyes and breathe until the air cools the back of my throat. Courage isn't a roar for me, it's the decision not to move when everything in me wants to do the wrong thing fast. I open my eyes. The camera shows nothing new. The timeline gleams with its last orange flag at 3:12, the gloved hand still covering my view like a curse. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Okay, I say to no one, to the tablet, to the door, to the old fear, to the new anger. Okay. I put the note back in my pocket, front outward, warning visible, and turn slightly so the camera can see my face. I'm listening, I say, and feel the prickle rise along my arms again, because for a fraction of a second I have the sharp, irrational sense that something on the other side of the door is listening, too. I call Maya again with my thumb already bruised from trying. This time she answers on the 3rd ring, wind rushing through the line like she's standing outside. I can't talk long, she says, voice raw. I can hear a train announcement in the background, clipped syllables, a city I can't place. You moved my stuff, I say. It comes out flatter than I feel. You told me not to go in. You didn't answer. I'm sorry. The words hit fast, like she had them ready. I'm out of town for work. I tried calling before your flight landed. Your phone was off. I saw the videos, I say. You said he was inside. He was, she says, and the certainty is worse than the content. He had a key. He didn't hurry. That's what scared me. People who hurry know they're stealing. Who is he? I don't know his name, she says. I saw his jacket the night before you left, logo over the pocket, the kind vendors wear. When I came to feed your plant. You never feed my plant, I cut in, too quick. She exhales hard. When I came to check on your place because your porch light kept flickering and it made me nervous, okay? I heard someone inside. Not a bump. Steps. I knocked. He didn't answer. I took a photo through the peephole and it came out like a smudge. Then I smelled something, faint. Not a leak you'd catch with your nose. A ghost of it. It set off a remote alert later. I think he cracked the gas valve just enough to trigger a maintenance call. If you walked in and called it in, they'd have reason to say emergency and open everything, change everything. You could have called the police, I say, quiet. I started to, she says. Then I realized how this plays. They'd come, the super would smile, and the note I left under your mailbox would vanish. What note? The explanation, she says. I taped it under the lip. It was there when I left. You must have. It's gone, I say. Someone took it. For a second the wind on her end is the only sound. Then he knew you were coming, she says. Or he watched the camera like we did. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I'm sorry I moved your boxes. I needed you to stop on the threshold and think. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Anger rises, hard and clean, but there's nowhere to throw it that won't break something I might need. Where are you? Baltimore, she says. Site visit. I'll drive back as soon as I can. Do not go inside without witnesses. Witnesses, I repeat, like I'm trying on the word. The call crackles. An announcement rolls over her voice. I have to go, she says. Listen, get the super to show you a key log. If there's nothing recorded, that's your proof, too. The line goes dead. I stare at my reflection in the black of the screen. I pocket the phone and gather the boxes into the shadow of the doorway, as if bringing them 6 inches closer to the door matters. Mrs. Klein has stopped pretending to get her mail and is just watching openly now, concern tightening the skin around her mouth. The building office is down the side corridor, glass window cloudy from years of cleaning with the wrong rag. A cardboard sign says ring for service, but the bell doesn't work, so I rap my knuckles on the frame. After a minute, the door opens and Leo steps out, keys jangling a little opera at his hip. He is wide where doorways are narrow, a belly ahead of him like a credential. His beard is too neat to be careless. His eyes land on the boxes and then on me, and something inside them shudders. Back from vacation, he says, faux cheerful. Someone changed my lock, I say. Really? He draws out the word like a yawn. Weird week. Tourists keep trying the wrong floors. People forget what key is what. My key fit last week, I say. Now it doesn't. There was a note on my door telling me not to go inside. Note? He pitches the word up as if I've said a novelty. Do you have a record of new keys cut for my unit? I ask. And any emergency work orders? The gas company? He shifts his weight, performs a sigh. We don't cut keys here, he says. That's management. If you lost yours, we can schedule a replacement, but there's a fee. I didn't lose mine. I hold his gaze until my eyes feel dry. Show me the last week of access logs for 3B. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Logs, he repeats, and I imagine the screen in his head, blank except for the word deflect. We've been dealing with out-of-towners letting their friends up to the roof. You know how it is. I don't, I say. What I know is someone moved my personal property outside and there's video. I need to know who authorized entry. Something behind his eyes calculates. He leans back into the office and shuffles some papers, an old trick, produce the sound of paperwork and the illusion of process follows. He returns with a printed sheet. Only thing I see is a maintenance work order, he says, tapping a line with a bitten nail. From 2 weeks ago. Filter change. I read the page. The order number is formatted wrong, our building labels them with the month first, not the day. The signature at the bottom is a loop and a slash, not a name. Who's our Neil? I ask, pointing. He squints as if the letters just hopped off the page and rearranged. New guy, he says. Temp. I'd like to meet him. He's, off rotation, Leo says, the pause too long for truth. Look, I can't just hand out staff info. If you want to lodge a complaint, email management. Email management, I echo. I hand the paper back. I'll do that. And I'll call the gas company. If there's an alert on my line, it's public record. Suit yourself, he says, and then can't help himself, his mouth bends into a shape that tries to suggest this is all a lot over nothing. Sometimes after a flight. I know what I saw. I turn before he can finish the sentence. My spine buzzes with the uselessness of the exchange. The office air smelled like burnt coffee and lemon cleaner and the particular metal smell of keys. I carry that scent with me like evidence. Outside, I dial the gas company. After the 5th layer of press 2-4, a human voice arrives, tired and professional. I give my address, my unit, my breath measured so the words come out flat and clear. She clicks keys on her end, reading something I can't see. There was a remote alert, she says finally. Low-level anomaly at 2:41 a.m. Did someone come? Ticket shows closed at 2:49, she says. Notes say on-site contractor present. Name? Just says contractor, she says. I can hear the apology adjusting itself in her tone. We rely on building contacts to enter details. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. So you didn't send anyone, I say. We were in the area, she says, hedging. But if an authorized contractor is on site and resolves, we leave it to their report. Can you email me the alert and the ticket closure? I ask. I can send a summary, she says. What's your email? I spell it out. When I hang up, the street has brightened into full day, the kind where whatever happens will be recorded in too much detail by people's eyes. I text Maya, gas alert confirmed. Ticket closed by contractor. No name. Leo useless. She doesn't respond. A skinny kid drifts down the sidewalk, baseball cap too big, a backpack that squeaks with every step. He slows when he sees me, then looks away like he's trained himself to be invisible near grown-ups. I recognize him, Andre, from the 3rd floor, always on his phone, headphones welded to his head. Andre, I say. Do you have a second? He looks at his shoes. I didn't do anything, he says preemptively. I know, I say. Did you see anyone here late last night? Around 3? He fidgets. A long beat. I couldn't sleep, he says finally, eyes on the crack in the concrete between us. I was playing online. My window faces the alley. I saw a guy with a jacket come through the service door. He had a sticker logo, like a company. He didn't buzz. He had a key. My heart stutters like a bad engine catching. What did the logo say? He shrugs. Blue and white. I couldn't read it. He had one of those lanyards with a badge. He moved like he lived here. He glances toward the office. He didn't look around. People who aren't supposed to be somewhere always look around. Did you tell anyone? He shakes his head, embarrassed. I told my mom. She said don't get into building drama. Thank you, I say. If anyone asks, you didn't see me. He grins at that, because alliances feel like superpowers when you're 14. This isn't personal drama. The thought arrives with weight, settles beside my anger and steadies it. Someone used utility access and a pretext to get into my home, then staged the scene outside like a polite robbery. They expected me to rush inside. The humiliation from earlier burns down to a coal I can work with. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. I walk to the precinct 2 blocks over because doing something with my legs feels like owning the ground. The lobby smells like dust and ink. The desk officer takes my statement with care, typing as I talk. We've had a few complaints about contractors, she says, neutral. Landlord-tenant stuff. Civil, mostly. This isn't a fee dispute, I say, and keep my voice quiet. This is forced entry under cover of safety. She nods without agreement. We'll open an incident, she says. If you have video, bring it. If you enter the unit and find signs of tampering, don't touch anything. Call us. I'm being told not to go in, I say. Smart, she says. We don't want anyone getting sick over gas. Keep your neighbor with you. Don't confront anyone alone. I leave with a copy of the incident number, a thin sheet of paper that feels both vital and laughably light. On the walk back, every person in a logo jacket makes my skin tighten. A delivery guy scans a package and my eyes jump to his hands, no black gloves. A maintenance truck hums past with magnet letters peeling at the corners. I read them anyway, as if the right combination will solve me. Outside my building, Mrs. Klein holds court with another neighbor, their conversation about nothing bent around me like a river around a rock. I give her a little wave to say I'm alive. My phone buzzes. Unknown number again. I open the text and a photo fills the screen, my hallway, angle low, the grain of the wood floor, a map I've walked blind 100 nights. Under the mailbox lip, a folded sheet is taped neatly, edges aligned. The timestamp in the corner of the photo reads 1 hour ago. The caption says, you weren't supposed to miss this. For a second everything narrows, my breath, the street, the idea of time. Whoever sent it stood where I'm not allowed to stand, reached under the lip and pressed the tape smooth, and left the proof like a trophy. I look up at my door. The lip is clean now, the adhesive shadow the only ghost. I feel the shift inside me, the small animal fear taking 2 steps back, the part of me that wants my life returning to the front. I tighten my grip on the phone and let the anger cool to clarity. If the game is evidence, I can play. If the rules are written by people who assume I won't, I can learn them fast. Under the mailbox lip, my fingertip finds what my eyes already guessed, a thin tacky strip where tape used to be, the dust around it cleaner by a shade. Whoever sent the hallway photo wasn't lying. Someone peeled a note from here not long ago and did it neatly, like they've done it before. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. I step back into the square of shade by my door and open the cloud folder again. The thumbnails sit like quiet teeth. As I'm scrolling, another file appears at the top, unfurling itself in real time. No name, just a timestamp and a spinning wheel. I watch it finish as if I'm watching a stranger walk toward me. When it resolves, it's a scan of a page, edges slightly warped by the glass. I tap. The note looks unremarkable, white paper, black marker, the letters a little sloppy where the ink bled. But the words are a clean blade. They'll call it maintenance. It isn't. They're flipping units by forcing emergency entries and swapping locks before you can contest the notice. Your lease buyout is already signed, with your forged signature. Don't step inside until you control who opens the door. At the bottom, a single initial, N. I read it 3 times because my mind tries to knock it into smaller shapes. Flipping units. Emergency entries. Forged signature. I picture Leo's neutral face, the backdated work order, the gas alert closed by contractor. I think of the jacket in the night vision, the gloved hand, the careful way Maya laid my life on the sidewalk like a line of evidence. This isn't a prank. This isn't personal spite. It's a process. A machine. I send the scan to my email, to Maya, to myself again as if duplication makes it safer. Then I call her. She answers on the second ring, her voice still rough, traffic gusting through it. I saw, she says, before I speak. It just uploaded on my end too. Who is N? I ask. I don't know, she says. Night staff? A neighbor? Someone who can't put their name on it. She breathes out. They're doing fast renovations. Jacking rents. If they can get you out before you can file anything, they don't need your permission to start tearing. Someone forged my signature, I say, and the words come out steadier than I feel. If they wrote a buyout and signed it for you, she says, they'll have a date on it that makes you look late to contest. Then I need proof before they get a chance to tidy, I say. The decision arrives whole. I'm not stepping in alone. We go in with witnesses and a locksmith, document everything, and control the door. You'll be careful, she says, not a question. You'll have eyes on you. And if anything smells wrong, you back out. We're going to make sure the cameras can't be turned against us, I say, because the red ring light has started to feel like a mouth. Can you be on video? Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Put me on a stand, she says. I'll record from my side too.
I knock on Mrs. Klein's gate. She opens it like she's been waiting, robe belted tighter now, hair free of curlers. Is it time? She asks, already holding a notebook like she's been deputized by the morning. I need witnesses, I tell her. And I need to ask Andre's mom to join us. And do you know a good locksmith? One who won't flinch if things are messy. She closes her eyes for a second, as if flipping through a Rolodex no one else can see. There's a van I've seen around, says Mobile Lock. Moves quick, doesn't advertise too loudly. I'll call. She's already dialing as she speaks. And I'll get Anna, she says, meaning Andre's mom, with the tone of someone collecting ingredients for a recipe that can't fail. Within 15 minutes, our group is assembled like we rehearsed it. Anna arrives in a plain t-shirt and jeans, keys jingling, eyes bright with the kind of quiet fury you bring to school meetings. This building thinks we don't read, she says. We read. Mrs. Klein stands next to her, posture straight as a fence post. Maya is propped against a coffee can on the porch rail via my phone, her face in a window, jaw tight. The locksmith pulls up in a gray van that looks like it doesn't belong to anyone, just to the city itself. He gets out, lean and alert, and introduces himself as Dima. He notes the camera without looking at it, and I like him more for that. You want entry with full documentation? He asks. His accent is light, hand already hovering over the bag he carries like a violinist over a case. We can do this in the open. But you need to know if they call the police and say you're breaking in, it gets loud. Better if you have incident number. I show him the paper from the precinct. His eyes flick down, accept. Good, he says. We'll make a movie. He kneels at my door and runs a pen light along the edges. Peephole cam, he says, almost casual, like someone pointing out a scratch on a car. He takes out a small mirror and angles it. I lean closer. Inside the hole where a peephole should be, there's a tiny lens staring back. Micro, he says. Easy to miss. They can see the hall. Maybe hear a little. Cheap tech. Very useful for tricks. I feel exposed in a new way, as if I've been walking past my own face on a television all morning. The sense of the hallway as a stage returns, but this time there's a purpose to it. Can you blind it? I ask. He smiles with half his mouth and pulls a square of matte tape from a roll, engineered to be the opposite of shiny. He stands and, with the smooth competence of someone who has done this in different hallways all over the city, he covers the tiny lens with a perfect circle. He doesn't press hard. Easy to remove, he says. We leave no stories they can write about us. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Power, Maya says from the phone screen. What about other cameras? Dima nods. If they have a system in the hall, the breaker closet feeds them. Public safety access means it stays unlocked sometimes. He looks at me. You know where? I do. It's a metal door with a rusted sign at the end of the corridor, the one we all assume isn't our business. Mrs. Klein produces a bobby pin like a magician pulling a coin from an ear and hands it to Dima purely on principle. He laughs, shakes his head, and tries the handle. It opens. Inside, the panel is labeled with the quick hand of someone who hates labels. Lobby, Hall 1, Hall 2 laundry cams. He lifts the cam switch, hesitates, looks at me. Legal gray, he says softly. Ethically urgent. Do it, I say, and my voice surprises me with its steadiness. Dima clicks the switch down. Somewhere a quiet hum stops. The red light on the doorbell rings dies, and the hallway feels less like a mouth. Record, Maya says. We all hold up our phones. Dima straps a tiny camera to his chest. Mrs. Klein announces the time and date out loud in her clear teacher's voice. Anna says her full name and address like an oath. Andre sticks his head around the stairwell, and I wave him back. His mom points. He retreats, but I see his eyes widen in the glimpse he got of us, and I know he will remember this the way kids remember when adults decide to be brave together. Dima kneels again and shows us the tool he'll use. Nothing dramatic, just a thin piece of metal and a quiet motor. He narrates his movements in case anyone ever asks if we snuck. Homeowner present, he says, and nods at me. Witnesses present.
Camera on.
No damage to door. Minimum force. The tool hums. He listens with his fingertips. The lock surrenders almost politely. When the bolt slides, it sounds like a throat clearing. We look at each other. Maya tiny but fierce on the screen. Mrs. Klein grim with purpose. Anna set like stone. Dima waiting for my nod. Fear moves under my ribs like an animal wanting out. I lay a palm flat on the wood, then take it away. Open, I say. Dima turns the knob and pushes gently. The door swings inward on a wash of air that smells not like gas, but like dust unsettled and something metallic. I take one step and stop. My living room has been peeled like fruit. The couch is gone. The rug rolled to the side, twined in plastic. The counters are wrapped in blue tape in crisp excess with work in progress scrawled across them in marker. The fridge sits in the middle of the floor unplugged, its cord coiled like a sleeping snake. A drawer hangs open, as if someone got bored mid-catalog. On the wall, at shoulder height, ragged pencil letters press into the paint. Too slow. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. For a moment, none of us speaks. I tap the light switch and nothing happens. Of course, cams is down and the one that feeds Hall might feed here too. Dima sweeps his light along the baseboards. He keeps it steady when it finds the valve by the stove. Score marks, he murmurs, and angles the beam so the tiny gouges show. He doesn't touch. He simply records. I feel the old humiliation try to rise, the one that comes when strangers touch your toothbrush and sheets and call it procedure. It hits a harder thing in me and breaks. Agency isn't a feeling, it's a sequence. Gather, document, call, control. I study the phone. Maya, I say, you're seeing this. I am, she says, voice tight. Don't move anything. Get close on the pencil. Get the fridge cord. Show the lock from inside. She is already writing a list of what the world will accept as proof. We step very carefully through the stripped room, the echo different with the furniture gone. Every sound feels foreign, like walking through a translation of my life. Dima pauses at the peephole from our side and shines his light through. The matte circle stares back. He nods, satisfied. Anna takes stills steady as a medic. Mrs. Klein reads off another timestamp for the camera and keeps her chin high. I look back at the wall and read the two words again. The graphite pressed harder than necessary. Too slow. Whoever wrote it wanted to be in my head when I found it. They are, but not the way they intended. The message isn't a jeer anymore. It's a clock starting. I lift my phone higher, my hand no longer shaking. We're here. I say for the record. We're not late. We move like we're in a lab. Dima keeps the chest camera centered, calling out each angle as if he's narrating for a jury. Mrs. Klein reads the time from her phone, clear and slow, then repeats it into mine and into Maya's. Anna photographs the stove valve close enough to show the hair-thin scoring lines. She steps back to capture the context, the stove, the wall, the meter, so no one can claim the scratches belong to something else. The cord for the fridge lies in a neat curve like someone wanted the photo to look tidy. I film my own hand hovering above it and then pull back, not touching. My voice sounds calmer than I feel. No gas smell. Visible tampering on valve. Power to hallway cameras is off by switch. Our devices are recording. I call the precinct. The same officer picks up. I recognize her voice. The worn patience. It's 3B, I say. We're inside with witnesses. There's evidence of forced entry under pretense of maintenance, gas valve scoring, and a changed lock. We haven't disturbed anything. She doesn't ask if I have proof. She asks how many of us are present and if anyone is in danger. Stay put, she says. I'm 10 minutes out. Do not argue with building staff. Wouldn't dream of it, I say, and hang up with a steadying breath. Leo arrives before the officer, his keys loud in the hall again. He stops dead at the threshold, eyes skimming the stripped room, the tape on the counters, the words on the wall. The performance he keeps in his pocket falters. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. You can't be in here, he says to me, then to Dima, then to the camera on Dima's chest like it's an extra person we brought to intimidate him. The tenant is present, Dima says pleasantly. We're documenting conditions. Leo recovers a fragment of script. There's a work order, he says. You got an email. We're doing upgrades. You left town. You changed my lock, I say. You moved my property, without consent. You used a gas alert to justify entry. And you closed the ticket under contractor. Which one? I hold up the screenshot from the cloud folder and the printed work order he handed me earlier. Who is our Neil, and why is this number backwards? He takes the paper, then doesn't read it. His thumb smooths the edge until the corner curls. We use temps, he says. We subcontract. I don't see every name. Then you can show me the buyout. My voice surprises me with how it doesn't shake. The one with my forged signature. We'll compare it to the copy of my license in the box outside, since someone thoughtfully curated it for me. He licks his lips. You're being dramatic. On the wall behind him, too slow, sits in pencil, like the ugliest kind of smirk. I'm being precise, I say. And you're on camera. I angle the phone so he can see his own face in the black glass. That finally punctures something. He exhales through his nose, a slow leak. Talk to Nate, he says. He handles moves. Regional. He handles. The sentence runs out of road. He looks sick. Call him, I say. Before he can, the officer appears in the doorway, calm, stamping out heat. She takes in the room, the phones, the chest cam, the older women who have squared their shoulders for me, the man with too many keys. No one touch anything, she says out loud, even though we're not. She steps to the stove, bends without leaning, sees the scratchy shine. She looks at the lock from inside, at the unplugged fridge, at the pencil on the wall. When she stands, her face has gone flatter, which for a cop is more attention, not less. Sir, she says to Leo, I need to see any documents authorizing entry and a list of who had keys to this unit this week. I have to call my boss, he says, wrong answer by tone if not by words. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Call, she says. Also, who turned off the hallway cameras? I did, I say. At the breaker. Public safety access. We have independent video. We can turn them back on after you record. She considers, then nods once. Leave them off until my tech arrives. As if summoned by logistics, the gas company van noses up to the curb. A woman in navy coveralls steps in with a meter clipped to her belt. She smells faintly of soap and dust. She introduces herself by first name and company, then holds her meter toward the stove. It chirps once, low. No active leak, she says. But this valve's been touched improperly. See the burr? She points without contact. That's tool scoring. That is not homeowner behavior. Leo's phone trills in his hand, and he jumps. He puts it on speaker without being asked. A clean, confident voice fills the room, the kind that knows how to own a room without entering it. This is Nate. We have some confusion in 3B. Hello, Nate, the officer says, not giving him room. This is Officer Smith. We're treating this as a possible unlawful entry and tampering. I'll need the names of all personnel who access this unit and the maintenance authorization for today's work. Of course, Nate says smoothly. We take safety seriously. There was a miscommunication about timing. The tenant was leaving. We were expediting approved upgrades. If any contractor cut corners, we'll address that internally. Which contractor? The officer asks. Silence stretches like a rubber band. We use a third-party vendor, he says. I'll have to check records. Do so now, she says. Also, we'll need copies of any lease buyout documents. There's an allegation of forgery. Inconceivable, he says, and I can hear the capital I. We would never. Send the documents, she says, and ends the call herself, looking mildly pleased at the power of a red button. While we wait, a janitor pushes a yellow cart into the hall and stops like she stumbled on a film set. She's slight, hair tucked into a scarf, hands chapped. Her eyes dart to the officer, to me, to the peephole with the matte tape. She looks like she might retreat, then she squares the mop in the bucket and stays. When the officer steps into the hall to meet a second unit, the woman clears her throat. You the tenant? She asks me, voice low. Yes, I say, and drop my voice to match. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. I think I know your letter, she says. The one under the mailbox. I didn't sign it because I can't. Her fingers not on the mop handle. But my name is Nora. My lungs forget their function for a second. N, I say. You're N. She shakes her head once, hard. Not Nate.
Me, she says.
I clean nights. I heard things. Men talking in the service hall, saying your name, your unit. They joke when they think no one hears. One said, we'll have the keys before she's home. She lifts her chin in apology for bringing bad news. I don't like the smell of that. I wrote what I wrote. Can you tell the officer? I ask. On camera? They can blur your face if we go public later. We'll protect you. She looks at Leo and flinches. He looks suddenly very interested in the floor. Maya on the phone says gently, Nora, I'm on video too. We'll put your words with ours. No one stands alone. Nora takes a breath like stepping into cold water. Okay, she says and nods once. I record her statement while the officer returns and then records it again, this time into her body mic, the chain of custody tucked carefully around Nora's small courage. She doesn't embellish. She says what she heard, where she stood, what time the clock in the laundry room read. She says she's scared of losing her job and more scared of losing the habit of telling the truth. Nate arrives in person, as if his voice built him a corridor. He's tall, in a jacket that tries too hard to be casual. He starts talking before he's fully in the frame, words softening hard things. Miscommunication, misunderstanding, efficiency. He addresses the officer and never once looks me in the eye until I hold up my phone, showing him the scan of the forged buyout with my name printed wrong, middle initial swapped, signature a strained imitation of my own loops. That's not ours, he says too quickly. It's in your folder, I say, and flip to the email he didn't know he had. The scooped-out face happens the same way it did with Leo, a tiny implosion behind the eyes, a calculation shutting down. This is a civil matter, he says, switching lanes. You're making a huge mistake by framing this as criminal. We will sue for defamation if any of this goes online. The officer gestures to the gas company tech who has been quietly taking photos and notes. My colleague here has flagged a safety violation, she says, her voice like a level resting perfectly on a line. That's not civil. That's criminal if intent is established. Either way, no one is touching this unit until my report is complete. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Nate turns a shade lighter. He tries a new tack. We have investors. We can't. What you can't do, I say, is push people out and call it maintenance.
My voice is even.
I didn't know I had this even in me. You can't forge signatures and pretend it's paperwork. You can't tell women with mops not to hear. Something in the room shifts then, not loudly, but decisively. The officer seals the door from inside with a strip of bright tape that says, "Do not enter." She photographs the seal itself like it's precious, then steps into the hall and does the same on the outside. Locks will be returned to the tenant and rekeyed by a city-approved vendor, she says. No building staff will enter without my authorization. She writes it down on an official form and has me sign. The paper feels heavier now. The next days are not cinematic. They're emails and statements and one long meeting with ownership where someone from legal says phrases like internal investigation and corrective action and we're deeply concerned, which sounds like a spell you say to unbreak things. The forged buyout evaporates as if it never existed. Ownership blames bad actors, which doesn't sit right, but the outcome lands. The incident report lands too, copied to the city. The gas company tags my valve and schedules a proper replacement. The locks are rekeyed in front of me and the officer, and my new keys click into my palm with a solid, honest sound. I sleep on my friend's couch while my place is put back together. No smell of solvents, no surprise deliveries, just careful hands returning the couch, rolling the rug, plugging the fridge back in, and hearing it hum. The first night away, I keep waking with the feeling that someone has rearranged my bones. The second night, I sleep straight through. On the third day, I start a tenant chat for the building and half of us join within hours. People share stories in short, embarrassed sentences that gather into something strong. We trade phone numbers, offer each other witness time, decide small things like how to spot a real contractor badge, and large things like when to call the city together. Maya drives back and sits with me at my kitchen table that is finally my kitchen table again. We apologize for different parts of the same day. I should have called the police first, she says. I should have answered you the second it was safe. I tell her I understand why she reached for the fastest lever she had. Fear makes us practical in odd shapes. We put our phones face down and eat takeout like normal people, which feels like a miracle. When the last repairman leaves, I stand inside my door and press a small square of blue painter's tape on the frame. I write in black marker the only instruction I trust. Document everything. I step back, look at it, and leave it there like a prayer you say by doing. On my phone, a draft title sits open in the YouTube app. I came home to my life on the sidewalk. The note said this. I don't hit publish yet. I scroll through the footage, the red eye of the camera, the gloved hand, the pencil on my wall, Nora's quiet, exact voice saying what she heard. The story wasn't ever about the shock at the curb. It's about the pause that saved me, the recording that made a lie heavy, the small group in a hallway deciding that silence wasn't the only option. I lock the door. The key turns with a clean click. This time it fits. Hey besties, thanks so much for sticking around till the end. If you felt something, learned something, or just enjoyed the story, don't forget to drop a comment.